Well, good morning. Let's see here. There we go. Oh, Michael is here. Scott in the world as I see it. Good morning. Good morning, everybody. It is Monday morning here in the Philippines. Bright and early, 8 a.m. It's just one of those extra days. Trying to get everything ready. We'll be leaving here in about a week to head to the province. So, how's everybody doing? Michael, how's things up in Michigan? And Scott in the world as I see it is here. Let's see here. Still trying to get the hang of the streaming software and everything. Wow, it's been an interesting week. Arlyn's sister is now here spending a week with us. She'll be going to the province with us, so we'll be carting all our stuff to the airport and getting on a flight there. What else is going on? Oh my God. I had probably the worst dining experience ever in the Philippines Saturday night. We're going to be releasing a video on it. It was absolutely horrible. Hey, Florida man, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Things in Florida are going quite along, I guess. I hope. Dollar here is still hanging strong at 56.54. Um, we used to think anything 50 and above was a great exchange rate. So the 56 and above, obviously, that's the spot rate. You're never going to get that amount. But hey, going to get close to 56. I think we moved some money the other week. I think we got 55.6 or 7, something like that. And it's gone up since then. One thing about Filipino party, everyone brings a Filipino dish to pass, and the host has a feast to offer. Well, yes, that's the way a Filipino party works. Fiesta is not like that. Fiesta is much different. Fiesta is when you cook crap loads of food and then turn around and everybody comes to eat and they don't bring squat. And apparently, we also provide crap loads of alcohol. But you know what? The concept I really like. It's the implementation. But you're going to see it. So we'll be putting it, I'll be uploading and maybe even streaming a little bit while we're in the province. James Gilbert, good morning, Mike. I'm going to move some cash today. Yeah, James, I think it's a good day. That's for sure. I think that, if you can even get 56, which I'm not sure you can get through your bank. I guess it all depends. I saw last night, I went out with a couple of friends for just a little bit, and we took Arlyn's sister out to dinner, and I noticed that the money exchangers on Fields Ave were giving 55.70 last night. Dardos, how are you? Hola, ¿cómo está? My Spanish is limited, but I do remember a little bit of it. Um, it is what it is. So, anyways, we had this horrible dining experience at this incredibly well reviewed dinner place. And I'll be releasing that video either later today or I'll be releasing it tomorrow morning, one or the other. Michael's asked, does Clark Airport offer connection flights around the Philippines or do you need to fly through Cebu and Manila? It kind of depends on where you're going. I know Clark has direct flights to Boracay, and I know it has direct flights to a couple of other places, but a good many of them are going to be connections in Manila or even Cebu. Izzy and Chris, big follower of me, and Old Cano brings me here. Oh, Izzy and Chris. Well, welcome. You know what? I don't have that beautiful DJ radio voice that Old Cano, Robert, has. That's for sure. And I don't have all of the good single guy advice that Mike has from Mike's Philippine journey. But we struggle, we get along, we move on down the street. We just tend to get things going. We started this as a hobby with a couple of goals. And while we're not making thousands of subscribers a month, we're certainly growing faster than we actually thought we would. But welcome, Izzy and Chris. We love to have you. Where are you guys from? Are you here in the Philippines? Are you stateside? Do you go back and forth? Ban Jammy, can you see my face? You will think I'm homelier in person. Well, no, Ban, I cannot see your face, but I'm sure it's a unique situation. Checking in from Louisville, Kentucky. Wow, that's a beautiful country out there. It really and truly is. Kentucky's one of those beautiful states. That's for sure, Paul. Welcome and hope you're having a great day. Dardos, please like and subscribe. Wow, Dardos, thank you so much. Yes, please do. There you go. Have a nice day. Hey, Mike, good to see you. Well, it's good to hear from you. And later, if there's an interest, I may actually turn on the ability to cam up and have discussions. Michael says, I looked up a flight for a friend today into Clark from Chicago, and it was $1,200 in October. It was cheaper than Cebu. Clark is not the cheapest place to fly into. It's actually a bit of a premium, to be honest. We looked at Clark for a couple of things, and they were a little bit more expensive, but the convenience of Clark over Naia is crazy. There you go, says he's going to be here just before Christmas. Balagbayan box sent last week. Yeah, we've sent quite a few of those. Peter Per, good morning, Mike from New York. Great to be part of another live. Peter, welcome. We hope you're having a good time. How's things up in New York? Is it starting to cool off a little bit up there? I guess it kind of depends on where you are up in New York. Chris Bagazan, good morning, Mike and Arlyn. Good morning, Chris. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're all doing well, actually. Kentucky and Tennessee are related. I'm not quite sure about that. Izzy says, what's your thoughts on ETP? His latest about Ricky drama was really crazy. I've seen Crazy Ricky, but not in that way. To get that footage just had to have been hours and hours of work to make. My thoughts on that's expat trash Philippines or some expat trash. Philippine expat trash. I can't remember. Um, I have some very standard thoughts on that. The first is first off, whoever's behind it is pretty intelligent. Secondly, they put some money into that. That AI software is not cheap. Although you can get some cheaper plans. I think I know the package they are using, and it's limited to so many minutes or credits a month at their cheapest level. I don't know, but I don't know. Um, as for Ricky, Ricky has always been out there, and I really don't pay him any attention whatsoever. Um, I really and truly don't. He's not the kind of content that we watch. I don't really watch people that scream into the phone, and I don't watch people that just thrive on creating drama. So um, I can't really tell. I just don't watch him. But I do think that ETP is um, having a good time, putting out content, and definitely putting a lot of effort into that content, or so I would think. Um, let's see here. Michael says Clark was cheaper than my flight into Cebu by $120. Only a 21-hour flight. Nice. That's a good deal. $120. That's dinner for sure, and a little extra. Scott in the world says that's why I paid extra. Yeah, it's worth it to us for the convenience factor. Oh, if we can get direct flights. We're flying to Butuan, and we're going to have to fly out of Naia only because that's the only way we could get a direct flight. Hector asks, are there paid lounges at Clark similar to Amex Centurion? Yeah, there are, but it depends on what sequence to go to. I know there's a Qatar lounge that accepts certain affiliated memberships, and but it's not going to be at the same level. I mean, you got to just realize Clark is just finished its remodel a year and a half ago, and that's just not a big thing. There you go. Have a nice day. Flying through Seoul, they have lots of flights to Clark. It's a pain in the ass going to immigration in Manila. Can take up to 90 minutes. Clark takes about 15. You know what? In Manila, when we came back from Thailand, we landed at 4 o'clock in the afternoon in Naia, and it was 2.5 hours to get through. Clark is just a breeze. And yeah, there are a lot of direct flights from Seoul into Clark. Quite a few, actually. Hector says, I'm in Southern California. Well, hey, Hector, welcome. Wow, 27 people watching. I'm very impressed. That's, for a little channel like ours, 27 is a lot. Paul, Tennessee, Kentucky, love Nashville. I'm originally from Ohio, only in Kentucky due to the son-in-law being at Knox. I'm assuming that's Fort Knox, Paul. Gee, I don't know. I mean, you know what? I kind of like Ohio too. I've never lived there, but I've been through it a couple of times, and it's a beautiful piece of country. Dardo says, talking about balikbayan boxes, wife sent out boxes from Phoenix on July 13th, and they have barely departed the Long Beach port yesterday, almost a month. they're behind. Please plan accordingly. You know, Dardis, we lived in Phoenix before our final move to the Philippines. We sent 11 balikbayan boxes, and it took a solid 4 months for them to get here. We used that little place over on um, is it Glendale Ave or something like that. I think it was over off of Glendale Ave. It's a little Filipino place, and they work with a couple of balikbayan shippers. Um, it was actually a great experience. They actually drove to our house. The guy came to our house and picked the boxes up there. We didn't even have to take it to them. Ricky is garbage. He's begging to be deported. You know, I don't understand. I saw a clip where Ricky actually, a guy is live streaming, and Ricky comes up behind this guy and attacks him out of nowhere. I don't know how he got away with that personally. I really and truly don't. But I am not an immigration person, so I can't tell you. But Ricky is, you know what? Ricky's one of those guys that just thrives on controversy. He really and truly does. Peter says from Long Island, it's hot, but not too hot. Leaving for China in October, plan to get a few days of R&R in BGC and Boracay. BGC is going to be great. October is actually my favorite month of the year in the Philippines. Here in Angelese, we'll have Halloween, and Halloween on Walking Street is really fun. Everybody dresses up, but what's even funner than that is every kid within probably 5 kilometers of that place comes to Walking Street for candy. And we hand out tons and tons and tons of it. I actually had or still do, there's a video of us handing out candy on Walking Street for Halloween to kids. Didn't have any bar girls in it, didn't have anything, but just because the title had Walking Street, YouTube demonetized it, which was kind of a shame because it got a lot of views. But it is what it is. I'll shut up and listen, Ban says. Ruby, good morning, Ruby. I hope you're doing well. I had the pleasure of meeting Ruby and her husband the other day last week. Very interesting and great people. Absolutely. Ruby, we can give you the name of a place to definitely not go to dinner. You know, it's been our, and we'll be putting a video out, but it's been my birthday weekend, and so we've been busy, really busy the past 4 days. And Arlyn's sister is here, and we went out to a place to Midori out on Clark that has a seafood feast with all-you-can-eat lobster, because my wife and her family, they love that seafood. And I got to tell you, we're going to be putting a video out about it. It's the absolute worst dining experience we have had in the Philippines. Holy cow, 35 people watching. That is great. I can't believe that. I'm so tickled pink, to be honest with you. Scott and the world as I see it. Fort Knox is nice. I was stationed there in the 80s. I've never been there. Never been there, actually. But I hear it's beautiful. That's Forex, I believe. It might be. We have a currency converter that grabs the international spot rate, and that's what I always look at. It's not what I'm going to get at the bank, but it's good enough for me. Wife calls them and they pick up the boxes. Yeah, they're great. They're absolutely great. I think it was, might have been Atlas, I think, or yeah, I think it was Atlas was the name of the company we used, but I think there's LBC also. Ruby says from Australia to Pampanga, it takes a minimum of 3 months to get here. During peak season like Christmas, it could take us 5 to 6. Yeah, it took ours 4 months. And that was actually during pandemic. It took 4 months. We shipped them about a month before we moved. And they got here like 3 months after we arrived. Izzy and Chris, from my understanding, is the case Fazio put on Ricky still open? I don't know. You know what? As I've said, I just don't keep up with Ricky and these crazy YouTubers that live and thrive on drama. I mean, some of the drama is entertaining when it's done in a reasonable way. But when you start getting violent, that's just really out of control. In our opinion, that's for sure. I sent 4 boxes at the same time out of Chicago by Carl Express, and all 4 boxes arrived at different times over a 3 month period. I've sent close to 30 boxes and only had one that had stuff stolen from it. You know what? We kind of set our boxes up in a way that we could tell if they had been opened and retaped. And none of our boxes were open. And they all delivered at the same time. 35 people, you must be naked. Nah, man, you're never going to see me naked on YouTube. That's for sure. Chris Bagasan, what happened at Midori to make it a bad experience? You know something? The food was average at best. And, you know, you kind of expect that from a lot of buffets. But at the same time, when you're paying $100, you kind of expect it to be pretty good. I didn't think the lobster just, you could tell it'd been like cooked, frozen, recooked, steamed, frozen, re-steamed. It was not the same, number one. And then number two, the service. The big deal was the service. It was absolutely horrendous. And I put it all in the video. You guys can watch it, but it was just terrible, Chris. Absolutely terrible. Sisig is my favorite. Many people do not realize Angelese is most famous for it. Don't you even have Sisig cooking week, Mike? You know what, Peter? They have a Sisig festival here, and you know, one of the Philippines' most famous sisig restaurants is here. And supposedly sisig was actually created here in Pampanga. So there are a couple of different places, I think, that talk about, hey, you know, it was at this restaurant or at this restaurant. I don't know, to be honest with you. But yeah, there's a lot of sisig, and sisig is a big deal. My wife loves it, and I like sisig. I really and do as well. Ruby says when we got through NAIA immigration a couple of weeks ago, it was swift. It was out less than 30 minutes with 3 people processing. Wow. I wish it had been that way when we did our Thailand trip. 2.5 hours when we came back. It's crazy. Scott, is the Federal Reserve really that protected? I would think nothing is there. It's known to the world we keep gold there. Bait and switch. I don't know, Izzy. I think it's probably pretty well protected. But, you know, that's not just the Federal Reserve. That's many, many different countries stock a good portion of their gold bullion reserves at Fort Knox. Just be careful. The Philippines has strange laws on bad talking people, so keep your review on the down low. You know what? They have bad laws about talking about people, all right? But when it comes to actually talking about a establishment, a you know, people have to be able to voice their opinions. I don't feel bad about it. And if they don't like it, they'll tell me, obviously. 35 is good. Ruby goes, we never enjoy eating on buffets or eat all you can deals because we don't like eating warm food. We like our meals served. You know what, Ruby? You're absolutely correct. And that was a big problem. First off, there wasn't anything that exceeded lukewarm except the tempura, which they're pretty much making in batches, and you're waiting 20 minutes in line just to get a couple of tempura. Other than that, everything was lukewarm as far as I'm concerned. I don't like it when nobody drops by the table to see about refilling your water. I don't like it when you have to beg and find people. We got zero service there. Zero service. We had to go up, find pitchers of water, refill our own water. They had little square tissue things for napkins. It was, for supposedly being a high-end deal, it was not. The Marriott has a dinner buffet that is really pretty good. It's not great, but it's not like getting personalized service, but they have somebody watching your table all the time. The service there is far better. One of the best buffet I ate at was the Waterfront Hotel and Casino across the street from the airport in Cebu. It was less than $25 down in 2018. Never been there, Michael. I don't know. I can tell you that our all-time favorite buffet ever, and I'm not a big buffet person, but my daughter wanted to go. We were in Vegas for a daddy-daughter weekend, and we went to the Bacchanal Buffet at Caesars, which is always rated as one of the best in the nation. And it did not disappoint. I mean, it was absolutely great. But at I think it was about $112 a head, it needed to be pretty good. The Philippines has a lot of really strict laws. If you have a illegitimate child and something happens to your partner, you don't have rights to your child. Her family does. Well, if the child is illegitimate, if you can't prove you're the father, that would be a problem, Chris, I would think. Now, if you can prove you're the father and you reside, I don't know. But I don't know that. It's not something I have to worry about. I apologize. I just don't know. I don't know what the law is on that. Peter says, got to run, but wanted to stop in and show my support. Thank you, Peter, so much. See you on Mike's before he leaves for the Phils. Everyone, please remember to smash that like button. Mike is a class guy. Hey, thank you so much, Peter. We try. We really and truly do. Kevin says, who came up with the term expats and why has it become commonly used? I just like travelers or visitors. Well, and actually, Kevin, I think you ask a reasonable question. First off, expats is short for expatriates, and many countries call citizens from another country living in that country an expatriate. So, for instance, the United States actually has a defined definition of If an individual that is a U.S. citizen lives in a different country, they are an expatriate, which means they are a citizen but not living in the country. Again, most of the people, we tend to think of, or Lynn and I tend to consider expatriates to be people who actually live here, people who reside here full time, or at least like 80% of the time, because everybody goes home on occasion. Otherwise, you are a tourist or a visitor. You're absolutely correct. Kevin goes, it's like passport bro and expats. What's the labeling of tourist or just someone that has moved to the Philippines? Well, and yes, and I have an issue with passport bro. I don't, not that I have anything against it, but I've never considered myself to fit the category of a passport bro because, quite frankly, I don't think passport bros have defined their moment and movement. I see a lot of YouTubers being passport bros, and I see a lot of YouTubers, especially in Thailand and Brazil and South America, that, they're talking about it. They're just young guys with passports. Big deal. That's been around for a long, long time. I mean, my passport had multiple foreign country stamps in it before I was 10 years old. So I don't get it. I really and truly don't. And I don't think the passport bro thing is going to live a long life because it's based on drama, number one. And then number two, as a group, I don't think they've defined it well enough. Izzy and Chris says, I'm talking about marriage. If you have a child out of wedlock, it's considered illegitimate. Yes, it is. But then is the father's name registered on the birth certificate? I would wonder. Wow, 35 people, 24 likes. Thank you so much. I'm so impressed this morning. Kevin, expats is a shortcut for expatriates, which means you come from a different country where you're currently living. Yes, Ruby, absolutely. Florida man, expatriates, yes. Matthew, good morning, Matthew. Can you get a good young Pine in Pampanga or a waste of time and go somewhere else? If she has kids, okay. Matthew, I'm going to tell you how I feel about that. And it's interesting. And I think everybody should know where we stand on this. Can you get a good young Pine? You know what? I don't know what young is in your terms. I know that we have female Filipino acquaintances that are in their 20s that are very good women. They work a legitimate job. They contribute to their family. Some of them are single moms. I would think that it is no different than anywhere else. I would hate to say this. I don't like to say this, but it's true. Your odds of finding a good woman certainly have a lot to do with the target rich environment you're in. If you're in some place that has a very low number of good women, then you're going to find it harder to find a good woman. But if you're in an area like BGC or Manila or Pampanga, Angelese or Cebu, there are lots of young single women in this town. Angelese is not just walking street. Wow, 39. Is it possible we'll hit that over 40 number again? 38, 39 people here. Have you eaten at Far East Poppy's yet? Yes, absolutely. I know Eric and Mercy. In fact, It was Mercy who actually pushed me to start this YouTube channel. We met them long ago. I've been to Eric and Mercy's several times. I go, honestly, I love getting their biscuits and gravy. It's something that's hard to come by. First off, biscuits are hard to come by, period, here. And good sausage gravy is very hard to come by here. But yes, we've eaten there and on several occasions. Mitch, on my visits, the Filipinos refer to me as a foreigner. Well, that makes sense, Mitch. I mean, aren't you a foreigner? Or are you a Filipino American? Or do you have Filipino descent? I think that if you can't speak Tagalog, at a minimum, you're a foreigner. And then a lot of Filipinos speak both. They'll speak Tagalog, Waray, and Kapampangan and Bisayan. There's so many different languages, but Tagalog is a pretty universal language for the Philippines. And if you can't speak that, then wouldn't you be a foreigner, maybe? Matthew says he's talking 20s or 30s. Matthew, there are so many women here. So many. You would not be short on seeing women. Now, do you have the ability to approach women? Do you have the ability to talk to women? Are you a presentable man for them? Do you, all of those things? It's not that much different, to be honest with you. I mean, now I'm excluding walking street where you can be 80, half blind, and have a walking cane and find a girl that for the right price you can have a relationship long term. But when it comes to outside of that, yes, there are lots of them. There's tons of them all over the place. If only knew this back in the 90s about the Philippines, I would have spent my winter layoff in the Philippines. Yeah, Michael, it's all right. We've got 40 in the room. That is really impressive. I'll be honest with you. Those are big numbers for a channel this small, and we certainly appreciate all of you, every one of you. Do you get free soda refills in AC at the restaurants? No, Kevin, you do not. In fact, fountain drinks you don't find hardly anywhere. You're going to get a can of soda, and when it's done and you want more, you can buy another can. And in most instances, you will have paid for the first can or bottle, whichever one. It's not like being in the U.S. where you have like unlimited iced tea. For me, I've been an insulin dependent diabetic for life. And so I was raised on unsweetened iced tea. And trying to get unsweetened iced tea here is very difficult, to be honest with you, in the restaurants. 42 people in the room. Thank you so much. We welcome all of you. Absolutely all of you. Izzy and Chris. Matthew, look for a real estate agent. They'll sell you a house and a relationship. Well, there you go. That's an interesting concept. I never thought about it like that, Izzy. But I guess it's possible. Anything is. Paul Henderson. Nice to see you, Paul. I hope you're doing well. You're not passing gas today? In case any of you don't know, that's a very old school term. Paul is a nurse anesthetist. And so he's the person that actually puts you to sleep. it's under the jurisdiction and direction of a physician, an anesthesiologist, but it's the nurse anesthetist that does all the real work. Hope you're doing well, Paul. Peter, I'm going to try and stick around until you break 40. Well, we broke it. We got up to 42, but dropped back down to 37 now. But you know what? We're happy with all of it. You know, as long as we get a chance to sit and chat. You know what I'm going to try and do? I'm going to do this. Let's try something here. I'm going to put up let's see. I'm trying. All right. And then I'm going to put this paste. If you would like to come on cam and have a discussion, that's the link. And I've never done it before, but if someone wants to give it a try, I'm happy to do so. Ruby, let me go back to what Ruby was. Matthew, all my nieces are in their late 20s and early 30s, all single and professionals. However, they're not interested or fascinated with foreigners. And I'm going to tell you guys something. We met Ruby. Ruby is from Angelese. That's all I'm going to say. She is highly educated, married to a really, really nice Australian guy. I mean, he's very funny. And quite frankly, she's smart. And, you know, if you could find a way to find somebody that fits the same dynamics as Ruby, you'd be a lucky person. See, Matthew, you can find a good woman everywhere in the Philippines. In a smaller town, in the province, you just need more time. When the word gets out of an expat, the girls will seek you out. Yeah, Michael, that's partially true. I mean, actually, it's true. But you need to actually set your goals. You need to define what it is a good woman represents to you. What is a good woman? Okay? And then you need to look and see, because you're going to find that most of the educated young women are not going to be in the smaller towns in the provinces. They're going to be in the bigger cities where they have opportunities to have professional careers. So, you know, you can live cheap in the province, but you get what you pay for sometimes. And don't get me wrong, there are a lot of people that live in the province that are absolutely happy. Matthew says, I'm nice and thin, but older, and money is not an issue. But you know what, Matthew? Money should be the least of the concerns. And when I say that, I don't mean it frivolously. What I mean is that you can't buy real love. You should find people who share a common goal and interest in you. Richard Stelly, a illegitimate child that has the birth father affirmed paternity and support can go to the birth father if the mother isn't capable of caring for the child. Yeah, and again, these are kind of some things, you know, we know a lot about the Philippines, but with that being said, what we don't have is any kind of experience. You know, it's not something that we can, you know, we pride ourselves of only trying to talk about things that we experience and see. And so we're very careful about it. And we don't know what the laws are on that. So Florida Man says, so you're a type 1. Yes, I'm a type 1, insulin dependent. My pancreas has maybe once in a while will eke out a couple drops of insulin. But no, I was born that way. Yes, type 1 diabetic. Michael, it does. Thanks. My budget is $3,000 monthly only, though, as I want to save more. You should always save money, Matthew. There's no doubt about that. Matthew, don't let any woman you meet here know your real income. And I think Izzy and Chris, you know what? Until you are in a relationship and deeply into that relationship, I don't think you should let them know. Where they maybe perhaps let them know I'm comfortable, I'm financially able to support us. But until you're going to get married, I wouldn't open my finances to them for sure. I agree 100% with Izzy and Chris on this. Hector, if you do reaction videos, do you have permission from the owner of the video you're reviewing? No, and you don't have to have permission. All right? That falls under fair use, the copyright laws of fair use, and you are able to utilize snippets in order to critique or review a other piece of content. That falls under the fair use copyright. Michael says, Matthew, look at the city of Dipolog and Dapitan. They are a short ferry ride to Duma. Nice places in the area I am moving to. And there you go. So does it fit all the things that you need? You know, hospitals, shopping, extracurricular activities, transportation. You know, we've gone through that in other videos, and I sincerely think you should consider those things. Izzy and Chris, I agree. That's why I budget only $3,000. Ruby says, also these young professionals are singles with no kids on the side. Yes, and you're going to find that to be more and more. You know, I've said this before. I truly believe the Philippines is evolving. We are seeing a whole new generation of much more responsible Filipinos and Filipinas. Now, granted, there are always going to be those that are unresponsible, not responsible. But shit, in America, you got just as many. I mean, my God, look at all the unwed mothers. You know, the Philippines has no damn, grapple on that. All right. In America, it's the same way. I think that more Filipinos are becoming responsible. More Filipinos are becoming professionals. They're getting an education, and they're starting to plan for their future. And I think that's a big deal. Wow, 39 in the room and 28 likes. That's really so nice. I really appreciate all the support that we get for such a small channel. Michael, looking hard at those places. Thanks. Paul. Mike, in many states, we are not necessarily supervised by an anesthesiologist, just a physician, which is usually the surgeon, in about 20 states. Wow, Paul. You know, that shows you just how long I've been out of medicine. And you know something? I have to tell you, in Arizona, when I was in medicine, you had to have an anesthesiologist supervising. So I guess things have changed quite a bit. And quite frankly, I've always appreciated the CNRA far more because that's the person that really makes the calculations, the decisions, monitors. It's, they're right there beside you. It's kind of like we used to have an old saying, the last person, when you have a heart attack, the last person you want to jump on your chest and give you CPR is a dermatologist. Might be a doctor, but it may have been 30 years since they've pounded a chest. Matthew, look for women who will fight the taxi or trike driver over the charged fees. She's going to look out for your money. She will look out for you in your life. I think there's a lot of qualities that you have to look at, but that might be one of them. Richard, I have two illegitimate minor sisters. One splits time with her birth mother and my father. The other lives with my father as her mother is an OFW. Yeah, I imagine that there's a whole lot of different scenarios, Richard, and we just don't know them. We don't know about them. They are not something that we are aware of. But it is what it is. Izzy says, I don't think any child should be labeled illegitimate. I think it's just utilized as a legality, but I don't know. Favorite part of Candy Towers aside from your apartment? So rather it's the pool, main lobby, etc. What's your favorite place? You know what? I'd have to say our favorite place is the restaurant because it's just like staying in a hotel. I can give them a call, I can order food, and they deliver it to my door. I don't have to get dressed other than, if I'm wearing a t-shirt and sweats and we've been cleaning and doing everything around the house, I don't have to get changed and dressed to go to dinner, although many people don't. All right. I can just give them a call, have them deliver it, hop in the shower, and by the time I get out of the shower, they're knocking on the door, ringing the doorbell. We actually have doorbells here at Candy Palace. 42, getting ready to tie our all-time number. 43 is the most we've ever had in a live stream, which for a channel our size is really unique. The pool is nice. It really and truly is. We prefer going to the pool over at Grosvenor across the street. And that's because we have a lot of friends that go there and they have a pool bar and it's a gossip corner. The guys get together and talk BS and the wives and girlfriends get together and talk about whatever they're going to talk about. We could not be more happier. It would be hard pressed for us to be happier somewhere else, to be honest with you. Paul, my wife, who's a retired surgical nurse, thinks it's amazing I can chat with someone halfway around the world in real time. She has been to the PI twice with me. Yeah, hey, why not? But you know something? It didn't used to be this way, and that's part of what we've said before. Think about the changes. I can remember when I was 20, and quite honestly, when I was 20, the way to communicate when necessary, pagers. That was it. And only the rich and the doctors and the rich could afford pagers. Okay? Think of how much the world has changed. When I was in my 20s, AOL was really the big deal. 43, we are now tied. 43 people in the room, and we are now tied. That's the most that have ever been in a live. Thank you so much for dropping in. Please, introduce yourself and say hello. We'd love to know who you are. Mike, I do not think you know what is happening in the USA now. There's almost no dating in all age groups. Men have thrown in the towel and want an Asian or a Latino. And Matthew, you know something, you're correct. I have no idea. I haven't dated in the U.S. in 10 years. Ever since I've met Arlyn, I have not dated. And to be honest with you, the 2 years prior to dating Arlyn, just because it was convenient and because of my schedule, I only dated strippers. Easy come, easy go. Not proud of it, but it's the way it was. So was I in a real dating pool? No. And so I couldn't tell you. You're absolutely correct, Matthew. Oh, Mike. Hey, young man, how are you? Welcome. Thanks for dropping in. I really appreciate it. When are you heading? Aren't you heading to the Philippines this month or next month? If you guys haven't been to Mike's Philippine Journey, I recommend him. Um, Mike has a very, very good way of presenting very big 44 people in the room. That is awesome. That's a new all-time record for our room for a live stream, 44 people for such a small channel. I think that's fantastic. But Mike's Philippine, oh, Mike is joining. Let's give this a try, and we're going to see if we can make this work. Hang on, folks. And plus guest. There we go. And I think it's working. Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, man.
Oh, great. Well, you're on. Welcome. How's things down in Florida?
Everything's good, man. Everything's good. I saw you were in live, so I had to post it over at the Discord. I was like, come on, guys. Support Mikey.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
No problem, man.
Yeah, we've I'm really happy with such a small channel, and we're getting 40, 44. We just had 44 people in the room. That's really amazing for us. Nothing like stuff you put out and other people. I was in a live stream moderating the other day for another channel. It was 270 people in the room. But it's been interesting though. It's been a unique week. Now you're heading to the Philippines when?
End of August.
August.
Yeah, so it's coming up.
So that should be good. And then I think almost everybody that's in our channel is familiar with your channel, but can you just give a brief synopsis for anybody that's watching that's not familiar?
Yeah, just for me, was the channel's main goals to be a proponent for men to get information about the Philippines. To know more of because all you hear is always the good stuff, and my thing is that people need to hear both sides of things, the good and the bad, and then at the same time is to translate some of the Tagalog stuff from what I know in Tagalog and everything. So, because the thing though is guys have this thing about the Philippines, and well, sometimes they don't understand the Tagalog words and so my job is to kind of translate that for them a little bit better.
Yeah, and you do a great job of it. It's different for me a little bit. I'm not that same age group or demographic that a lot of Mike's channel folks are, but that's not actually true. What I have noticed, and I think is happening, I think there are a lot of guys, even my age, in Mike's channel. They're just not as vocal, and they sit back a little bit more and watch and learn than the younger guys. But at the same time, you're going to find people, and there's people in your channel that are my age that talk routinely.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, my majority of my channel is specifically 45 and up. But if we get more, in the YouTube, the studio, it's pretty much the 60 and up people. That's about 35% of my viewers.
Yeah. It is really something else. I really enjoy Mike's channel. A lot of times here lately over the past couple of weeks, my schedule and his video release schedules and live schedules haven't been meeting up at the same time, but it's been interesting. I had that slip and fall, and that kind of laid me back for a few days. And then I got sick on top of that, and that laid me back for another 5 days. And then now we've got company in town, and then we're getting ready to go to Fiesta, which is, oh boy, I can't wait. So
they have a Fiesta in Angelese City?
They do, but no, we're going back down. We have a home in Mindanao also. So we're heading down to Mindanao. Wow. 45 people in the channel. That is now a new record. But we're heading down to our home in Mindanao. They have fiesta in Arlyn's town every year.
Got it.
And so we're heading down there. We'll be down there for 10 days, of which fiesta's only 3 tops. So it is what it is. In fact, Arlyn's sister is here right now, staying with
Awesome.
us, and then she'll fly down to Butuan, and then go to the province from there. So what else has been going on?
Nothing much, man. Just just relaxing. I haven't been making a lot of content lately. Just been, just been chilling. Just doing live here and there. But there's a lot of stuff in work wise. Especially I'm going to be gone for several weeks, so I'm making sure everything is done correctly, and for work wise, and then all that stuff is handled. So when I'm gone, I'm not really worried much.
Yeah, that I can certainly understand. I used to, when I still owned our business, I used to have to, okay, I can stay in touch, but I can't
Hmm.
get this done from there. So let's get this done now before I'm gone
Yep.
for 2 months, type situation. So I fully understand. Um, so it is, but folks, I like I said, I would highly suggest that if you haven't stopped in and watched Mike, you should. It's really a good channel. It really and truly
Appreciate it, man.
is. It's a law term. Yeah, we were talking about. Somebody was saying that if you have a child
Okay.
by a Filipina,
Hmm.
and it's a illegitimate child born out of wedlock, and
Okay.
the Filipino passes away, you
Hmm.
can't get custody of that child. And I don't
It depends
know
on the
how that
age.
works.
It depends on the age. So, if after age 7, technically the child can make a decision, they can ask the child who they want to go to. But if the child is under 7, it automatically goes to um, the the parents of the mom
Okay.
or the sister, whoever is alive. So it normally goes parents, then sisters, and it's always gonna. Unfortunately, under the age 7, it's always gonna be in the woman's family side that has the rights to it.
Yeah. That was a question I couldn't answer because, it's just not in my wheelhouse. Arlyn and I have never had to deal with that type of issue. I see
Got it.
Mogman joined us. Oh,
Hmm.
he's out there driving that new truck all over Leyte.
Yeah, he's pumping up those miles in those suckers, man.
He is.
I would too.
Uh, and Michael's sitting on his deck, drinking a beer, watching live stream, and your cat dropped a dead bird. Anyone needs some food? I think we'll pass on that, Michael.
Yeah.
Mog man, it's working. Pedro, IT, wow. Uh, got a couple of people came in from Discord this morning, I see.
Hmm.
So nice. So what else is going to, how long are you going to be here? And are you going to be anywhere? Are you going to be coming up through Angelese by any chance?
I'm not too sure if I'm gonna go to Angeles this time. So my girl and I were supposed to go to her farm, in Batangas.
Ah,
So so they have a farm in Batangas, and then we might stay at her lake house. So we might be staying a little bit more in Manila and Quezon City. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna head up to Angeles City. It all depends and to see what goes on. I mean, they have business over there as well. So, but up north a little bit. So we'll see, man. I mean,
well,
um, but
definitely let
Angeles is
us.
Angeles.
Yeah. Angela's, you know what? It's not all about Walking Street, but
Nope.
people make it that way because, there's drama to be had and views to be had and women to be looked at. Uh, but with that being said, it's a great place. We
Mhm.
actually enjoy it. We really and truly do. So we can't complain about it. Sharky's here in the house.
I know. See that.
Florida man wants to know what part of Florida are you in, Mike?
Polk County. So I'm right in the middle of Tampa and Orlando. So going to Orlando would be like 45 minutes. Tampa would be like 35. So that's pretty much where I'm
Paul says
at.
Paul's over in Sarasota. Mike, you might be interested to
Nice.
know Paul Henderson. Paul, he's a CRNA. He's
Oh,
a
nice.
nurse anesthetist. Yeah, he's over in the
Good money.
Sarasota County. Really nice guy. Really, really
That's
nice
good
guy.
money.
Cam the Cook, Prince Edward Island, Canada. Well, thank you
Look at
for
that.
tuning in. That's for sure. Cam, how's things up there in Prince Edward Island? I've never been there. In fact, if I had to point on a map where Prince Edward Island is, I hate to say it, I wouldn't be able to. I can show you where Canada is and
Yep.
Vancouver, Toronto, Montreal, British Columbia, but I'm not sure where. But I know I've heard of Prince Edward. Is like maybe it's could be like a tourist or resort area. I can't remember. I know I've heard the name. That's for sure. Izzy says, Mike, as a return for moderating Philly in the Philippines, you should collaborate with you on your live stream for more exposure. You know, I only did his moderation. Let me tell you why. He's been doing, let's just call them controversial drama live streams. All right.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, he doesn't really moderate a lot. When I say moderate a lot, I mean he's pretty wide open as to what you can post. But he asked, would I be, help him moderate because there are things people will post in chat that are against YouTube's community guidelines. When you start accusing somebody of being with an underage girl and you specifically state that age, when you accuse somebody of, whatever, these are things that you just have to remove from the chat itself. And, and I know Brian, I run into Brian probably twice a week. I go to Tequila Reef for breakfast, twice a week, 3 times a week. Philly goes 2-3 times a week. Sometimes we run into each other and we chit chat, and I don't think we solve the world's problems or anything, but he's a nice enough guy. And you know what? I think a lot of Philly's content and his supporters are not stuff that we do. I don't do, walk and talk videos. I don't do walking street videos. Although, things may change one day, who knows? But the thing is we have different things. And for us, for Arlyn and I, it was a very, very hobby oriented thing to get into YouTube. It was never something, I'm still surprised that we are really in 9 months, 10 months, where we are. So, good morning, June Burms, Juan Burms. I wonder how I would say that name correctly. I don't know, but good morning either way. 45 in the room, a new record. Kevin, Mike's got great content. Loved his lives at ABS and Envy Backfest. Still wanting to know whom walked by Mike at Envy that morning and ready to throw hands. That's one I'm not familiar with. Mike, you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, so I was doing a live at Envy's, right? And I was having breakfast. And just some of those you have these several like you'll say haters or whatever like that, a little, I mean, I've seen them in your comment section before.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, so this guy was just like, I was doing my live and I was talking to the camera, and I'm reading it, and the person says, "You did not even know that I just walked right by you," trying to do the threaten thing. And I was laughing because I was just looking at the camera, and I go, if I'm scared, I'll be looking over my shoulder right now. I said, I'm looking at the camera. If you really are around me, come around, show yourself, right? I was like, I don't give a crap. So like, he thinks that I was gonna get like scared and like all of a sudden like just start looking around. And the whole time I'm looking at the camera when that happened, and I'm just like laughing, right? And I was like, I'm like, listen, if I'm gonna get my ass whooped, I'm gonna get my ass whooped. But the thing though is like, I could care less. I was like, so So he didn't really like that. So, what the funny part about that is this: is that the very same day, somebody then emails Envy's manager, the owner and manager, and says that they better watch out to have me there because I might cause a problem. Because I in the live I said, show yourself. I was like, you know what, fuck, I'll throw down. I was like, I don't care. I was like, I'm like, you don't know where I'm from. I'm like, I'll throw down. I don't care. So so they said that I'm a menace, I'm a danger, I'm gonna cause problems and stuff like that. So they thought I was gonna get kicked out of Envy. And the manager was telling his security guard that, okay, we can't have this guy here anymore. Right. But at the same time is the manager's like, and then what's funny is the security guard then all of a sudden tells him, no, this guy's a good guy, right? He's a good guy. I was like, I know him and stuff like that. And the manager's like, okay. And I was like, and the manager also knows about haters because a lot of people talk crap about Envy sometimes. So, the security guard contacted me, and I was like, if the manager wants to meet up with me, I'll meet up with them. So I ended up meeting up with the manager and the owner. I think they're from Australia or something like that. And so we just have this conversation, and he starts laughing. He goes, you know what, the fact that you showed up, in to meet with me, and you wanted to meet me, that shows me the type of man you are. And I was like, yeah, I was like, I'm not scared of anything. I was like, I'd rather hit and have a conversation about things. And so he goes, forget that fool. You can do a live anytime. so so I was so the next morning I did another live there just because I was like, you know what? I was like, what are you talking about? And I just start calling out the person that was and what's funny was um the manager made me read the email of the person. So he goes,
Oh,
here's the email that they sent me. So I was like, do you want? So I sent it over to my email. I forwarded it, and I'm laughing. And then I was like, and I emailed the person back, and I go, and just for the fun of it. And so yeah, it's hilarious how some of these, like, real haters, a lot of these guys, and most of these guys, I for real know that a lot of these guys will never make it to the Philippines. A lot of these guys just hate men like us who you living in the Philippines, me visiting the Philippines, me being able to all that stuff. And so that's the whole story about that. I was like, now I was looking at the camera the whole time that I read the comment, and I did not look behind me. I didn't look around because I could care less. I was like,
you
if you're
know,
gonna throw down, throw down.
and that our channel is so small. We've never had any haters that have physically threatened to
Mm,
show up or do anything. But I
mm-hmm,
was surprised, and I don't agree with it, that you and others, I mean, there's this Jasper guy that talks about
mm,
all of the people that has threatened him and threatened his life and this and that.
yeah,
You've had people that have said that they wanted to physically have an altercation with you. Um,
yeah.
I don't get what it is that makes people. I don't get it. I really don't. And then I saw this video the other day, this expat trash
Mm,
thing, and it shows Ricky Drama. They're doing this thing on Big Shot Travel, Ricky Drama, whatever his name is at that point in time. And there's a guy doing a live stream, an old guy. It's my age, older, uh, construction work on a house or something. And you can see Ricky Drama come up in the background from behind him and attack him.
oh, that was a
Literally,
long time ago.
yeah, I guess so. This is way before me. Some guy Fazio or
Yeah.
something like that.
Yep. Hmm.
I think that's getting way out of control. That's going way too far. I don't know what the circumstances were that he felt that he could justify that, but I don't know. Physical altercations are never going to be the answer.
No, it never really is. And the thing though is, one thing that you will always understand, the guys that does the physical violence, like first hits and all that stuff, a lot of those guys just really can't back themselves up anymore on a lot of things, and that's the only thing that they can actually do. Because if we can have a fruitful conversation, like I don't have a I disagree with a lot of certain other vloggers, and I'll let myself my thoughts known about that, right? But let's have a a verbal discussion about it. But most people that threatens violence, I just have empathy towards them, and it's not hate. It's more of just empathizing the fact that that's your choice to go straight into violence. But that doesn't mean that we can't get there. I mean, if it has to go there, then let's take it there. But just I think that some people just get frustrated easily, and we should have to go to violence. We can have a
No,
conversation. I mean,
not.
but most people feel that that is the machismo way. Most people sometimes feel that that is um the best showing of you being a man, kind of. And I've dealt with people like those, and I've dealt with people who's willing to have a conversation, and we can sort it out that way.
Yeah, it does. It makes a big difference. It really and truly does. Cam the
Mhm.
cook wants to know if we've ever traveled to the Philippines with a pet. I know that we have never traveled with a pet to the Philippines. Um, I don't know about Mike. I doubt he's come visit with a pet, but I don't know anybody. Although I've seen people that have brought their pets. We actually were on
Mhm.
a flight coming from San Francisco through Seoul and Seoul into Manila. And a guy had a chihuahua with him the whole time. And he just breezed right through immigration. I have no idea
Mm.
what the actual requirements are, though. So,
I'm sure it's a lot. I spoke to one person who had to deal with that, and there's like, just you have to get all the paperwork's done, all the clearance. You have to plan things ahead. That's just a lot for me. I mean, but I mean, I think that when you have love for your pet, you would want to bring your pet, especially if you're retiring in the Philippines and stuff like that. My girl, she's brought her dog to the U.S. to have the eyes treated. So, I mean, and that's coming from the Philippines to the
yeah.
U.S. So some people are just really in love with their pets that way and willing to pay that money.
Let's see. Paul, well, let's see. Matthew says we can agree to disagree on Mike's channel. Well, that's fine. Mike would
Sure.
be happy to talk about it. Paul wants
Yeah,
to
I
know
think
what
people should
Mike's
be able to.
channel's name is. It's Mike's MYK. Let me see if I can type this here. MYK.
Yeah, just Mike's Philippines Journey. It should show up.
Is it? Oh, yeah, it should show up. It
Yeah, just
absolutely.
if you put Mike's once you put Mike's Philippine, the channel will show up guaranteed on a YouTube search.
There you go. Question for Mike. When you go to
Hmm.
the Phils, are you considered an expat or a passport bro?
That's a funny. In the end, passport bros is pretty much any foreigner with a passport coming to another country. That's all that it is. So, it's just another term. There's no difference in an expat. There's no difference in a man with a passport. There's no difference in a passport man. There's no difference than a foreigner. I mean, it's the same exact thing. It's just a new term that's being kind of used. But just like anything else, I mean, you have expats talking bad about passport bros, and then passport bros talking about expats, and I'm like, you guys are all the same thing.
I,
It's the
I
same
agree.
thing,
Yeah.
but just like, it's funny how when I hear expats, dropping poop on passport bros, and I'm just like, why? I was like, you hear that argument. It's no difference than the older men saying that they're better than younger men coming to the Philippines and stuff like that. It's just the old people just trying to create their own. They say we're better than you kind of stuff. I just laugh at it. I mean, but we
Yeah.
do know passport bros in far majority are going to be black men.
And
So.
and I agree. That's what I see represented on YouTube. The vast majority being men of color. Mike
Mhm.
Dowdy says good morning. Fidel Castro. Well, hola, Fidel. How are you? Ruby says that Mike, technically, the child would go to the godmother before the
Interesting.
grandparents or aunts or uncles. I don't
Okay.
know, but Ruby's pretty knowledgeable. Like I said, I met with Ruby and her husband the other day for Arlyn and I met with her the other day for
Nice.
brunch. Smart woman. Ruby's the kind of woman you wish you had met 20 years ago. You know, she's from Angelese, college educated engineer, was an
Nice.
engineer in Manila, met her Australia, and she's had a wonderful long marriage with a really neat Australian guy. Smart, really, really smart, very impressive people.
Yeah, I've seen Ruby
Mogman,
over at the Antics channel.
yes, yes, she goes to Annex quite a bit. She knows Heidi and George well. Izzy and Chris, Mogman, miles or kilometers? You talking a road trip? You're going to go to Davao? Is there a minor festival at the end of the month? Is there a major festival? I don't know. We'll see if Mog is still paying attention. Going to Green Acres, okay. Florida man, I'm in Volusia County. I guess we got behind in chats here. Mog's in Southern Leyte via Illinois. That's quite a way to via it.
Yeah,
Sharky. PEI is north and east of Maine. Prince Edward Island. Okay. North and east. Well, shit, if you're east of Maine, aren't you in the ocean? I guess maybe Canada bunches over a little bit. And it does say island, so maybe it's an island. Okay, Sharky. Miles, Mogman says. 20 miles. Been all over Leyte and southern Leyte now. Yeah, I met Mogman at a meet and greet that Mike wasn't able to meet to. Met his wife. I'm telling you, man, you know, she got you got the better end of the deal, dude. She's really a nice woman. She really is, you know. And the same thing, you know, Miyagi's partner. Man, there's another. How is it guys are getting hooked up with so many really smart, sweet women? Quality women. Not just women, but quality women.
Well, because those guys are actually looking for those type of girls, you know,
I
and
think
it's a
so.
lot harder. It's a lot harder. It's just it's not even harder. We'll say it's just extra work. But most guys don't even want to do that. Most guys just want to go for the first person that jumps in their lap, and all of a sudden think that that person is going to be a good person to them, and you know, and that's where a lot of guys end up messing up. But if they really look around better, you know, use their filters. You know, it's like if you're using just like when you're doing internet dating, turn on the damn filters. Most guys don't even activate their filters on you know, the age, the education. Should do the same thing when you're meeting girls in the field and stuff like that, but most guys don't want to, and that's why they're meeting the ones that are unfortunately
Yeah.
causing bad problems for them.
And they're all over. I mean, but there are a lot of good women in the Philippines too, I think.
Yeah,
You just have
there
to
is.
really be selective and know what it is you're looking for and then
Yeah,
stick to it.
my girl's a dentist.
Yeah, there you go.
You know, you know. So and the girl before that, it was a marketing executive for one of the casinos. I mean, you know, it's like just look around, and I'm ugly as hell. So you know, I'm far more than chubby. You know, I'm not that good looking. You know, I'm at least a 4 on a good day. But some guys just don't want to do the extra work.
Yeah. Yeah, Renee, I am more of a kind of sit down talking head type thing. You know what? The reason behind that is because there's so many guys walking around holding an iPhone or a camera or whatever in Angelese. I just feel like it's not something that I'm gonna go into. Now you'll see us videoing a lot of other stuff during Fiesta and when we're in the province, and you know, I've got videos on our entire house build in the province. So it's not all that. It's just that I'm not gonna sit around with a GoPro and wander up and down the streets. That's just not our style. Not at all. Cam the Cook, I'm East Coast, 200 miles from Maine. Okay. That's pretty much what Sharky was saying. Mike Dowdy says it's pretty even here, but it's higher than in Boracay. We just came home, 68 a liter there. They're talking about gas.
Sheesh.
Mogman says he likes Boracay, but it's nice to visit, shit to live. I don't know that. How do you live on? I don't know. It's not. I don't think I could live on an island. I just. I don't think that there's enough in Boracay to keep me busy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to have to take a ferry ride every day. And then I wasn't really, what's the name of the city? Aklan or something like that? That you can.
Caticlan is where you land the airport. That's Caticlan. I think Caticlan.
Yeah. And I wasn't very impressed with what I saw of it. So Maximus is here. Fazio was calling Ricky's girlfriend a whore and also told Ricky that he would give him $10K if he was bragging enough to go to his place. Yeah, I don't know any of this stuff, Maximus. Honest, I don't. This was all, I think, before my time. Mike, do you remember when this even transpired? Was it like more than a year
before
ago?
my time as well? No, way there. Way before my time.
Yeah.
Just got wind of it, and just like I was just like researching other people that had channels. When I hear people talking about somebody, and I came across that, and I mean, like that Fazio guy is kind of weird looking to me. He looks like a mad scientist in the back.
Ricky's no Adonis. Now I admit he's got more hair than me. All right, but if it wasn't for his hairdresser, it would be gray. I think that's a way too dark to be natural. In fact, I did see a video of Ricky at a Trump rally or something like that, and he has blonde hair.
Oh, that was classic. Yeah, that was a classic video where he started yelling and all that stuff in the front. Yeah, that was a classic Ricky.
That was a unique one. But, Fazio put out a challenge to Ricky, and Ricky took him up on it. Does not make it right, but he asked for it. Hey, I still don't. I just am not a proponent of physical altercations. Not as a foreigner in a foreign country. I mean, certainly I would defend myself if I was attacked, but I would do whatever I could to even avoid it. Hector says, for trollers that throw threats that rise to the level that may require reporting to authorities, will law enforcement in the Phils even officially document such complaints, let alone take action? And that's a better question for Mike. Mike's got a lot of history showing what they did with other people.
Yeah, I mean, if number one is you have to go to barangay, that's where you have to do some reporting to put that stuff up, and you can actually ask for pretty much like a restraining order kind of, and that they will have to have a maximum amount, I think, of 90 days maximum, and then you have to renew it if you need to. If there's any other threats. They will, but at the same time, is the question is, will they? They have to take your word for it. You have to give that up, but most of the time is you have to understand, these law enforcements or the barangays, they're not really the guys that are detectives that's going to do detective work for you. So sometimes is you're going to have to actually make sure you have enough evidence, to show it. I mean, like a good example is a particular vlogger out there who this is currently happening to, where he had to unfortunately put a restraining order against his ex-girl, and so and it just goes from there. But they have to, the laws that apply to Filipinos apply to foreigners as well. I think that's one a big problem, where some foreigners feel that the laws don't apply to them in the Philippines. And I've seen too many foreigners say that, oh, that's for the Filipinos, that's not for me. I'm like, no, that's not how laws work. So,
yeah.
But
no, and Michael says, haters are going to be haters, and they have their own. A lot of them are haters just because their own life is miserable. That's true. Homestead or physical altercations in the Philippines could get your ass booted out. Well, I'm sure it could,
especially if you do it to a Filipino.
Yes, especially if you do it to a Filipino. Ricky Drama, Big Shot, aka Big Shot Vlogs, aka Fat Slob. It's all the same person. He's been like this. He went after Biden in Vegas too. Yeah, that's one of the videos I saw where he was raising hell as he was in the audience or something.
Mm-hmm.
The guy's a bit different. That's, I guess, the best word for it. Maximus rookie drama spent 4 days in a Filipino jail for his transgression and is still getting sued civilly by Fazio. Don't know, haven't got a clear. Don't know Fazio. Don't follow Ricky. Apparently, Fazio has a channel. We try and stay clear of that kind of stuff. We really do, unless it's something that it's just like the video I did yesterday about. I've had Mike. You can relate to this. I know this has happened to you, Mike. All right, over the past 6 to 8 months, I'm getting feeds in my YouTube about shit from other YouTubers in the Philippines. And there's a couple of them that are doing interviews with Filipinos. And these interviews are like, do you spit or swallow? Are you shaved? Do you prefer shaved or not shaved? Is this too big? And I'm like, let me tell you how I would answer these. And I just did a video on that with the answers. I didn't go into the spit and swallow one. But are you not getting these same feeds of these absolutely ludicrous shit people are asking, but even more so, the insane number of Filipinos and Filipinas that are answering these questions?
Okay. First of all, Filipinos answer the question. They would. I mean, I'm sorry. Listen, I've been in those conversations. I've been having, I do, when I speak to girls and stuff like that, I do ask jokes for the fun of it. If I'm sexually escalating something, if I know if it's good, if I'm asking that to a girl, it's because I'm trying to get a one night stand. Plain and simple. All right. So of course I'm not doing that no more.
Yeah, but these people are blogging this. They're like doing girl on the street interviews.
Listen, there's a couple Filipino guys that, younger cats that are doing the same interview with Filipinas, okay? In bars and clubs and stuff like that. I'm not talking about bar girls or, pay to play girls. It's really being done. I think Filipinos are pretty open with these kind of conversations. I think it's kind of more weird when you see a foreigner do it.
Yeah, right? That's what these were.
That's when it kind of gets creepy when that happens. And then there's this one channel that I saw where she's married to a foreigner, but of course he's making the woman do the interviews, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, so yeah, I have been seeing that. It for me wise, it's kind of messed. In a way, it's just like it just makes foreigners look like a bunch of sex addicts. In a way, it just make it. And so, but the question is there really truth to it? Yeah, by far majority, yes. I mean, you cannot.
Hold on.
That's just me.
The other day, I'm drinking coffee. It's 4:00 in the morning. All right. I'm on my second pot of coffee. I've done my emails. I've read the news, stocks, everything else. And I see this one and I click on it. And it's a Filipino couple. All right. I know you'll probably know who I'm talking about. All right. And she is in the province, or it looks like the province, and she's interviewing 4 women. And these are not young women. These are like 50s, late 40s, mid 50s. All right, about how they feel about oral sex. Now, this paints a picture in your mind at 4:00 in the morning that is not really a great way to start the morning.
No, I get you. I think I know the couple. They're a Filipino couple.
Yeah.
Maybe in their 20s, 30s.
Yes. Oh, I don't mind saying Roger and Ismi or whatever their names are.
Roger that. Yeah, I mean, I've seen I've been into their channel. I've seen their channel. I've had, it's what gets views. Because
it does.
There's let's just be honest. There's a bunch of horny men out there just waiting to hopefully have an opportunity with their fake girlfriend.
But how horny do you have to be to find out if this 50-year-old province woman is interested in oral sex? I mean, you got to be pretty fucking horny.
Oh, and there's a lot of them out there. Come on, let's you know, come on, Mike. There's a lot of them out there. It's like, well, I'll even let's use the Pareto principle. 80% of the guys that consumes these type of content are into that. Or that's the only joy, because they actually hear a girl say that she's willing to swallow or spit, right? Or that they want that particular thing. These guys want to hear that, because then there's somebody actually answering question compared to somebody that they're watching at Pornhub. So I mean, it's like it's majority of the videos in Roger Nisme with respect is sexually content.
Yes, but some of it's not so bad.
Yeah. I mean, I think you have to play the game of going ups and down, kind of, So it's just, but that's their content. That's the way they handle their stuff, and guys watch it, they view it, they enjoy it, and
I can't be watching theirs at 4 a.m.
You have the right to click off.
Exactly. I just need to watch it like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
There you go. During merienda time, when you're having your puto and your cuchinta and stuff like that.
Exactly. Florida Man wants to know whatever happened to the older vlogger in AC, Tipawan and the
Tipawan and Farang.
I don't know them.
Remember him? Oh my god, that dude! Like I've seen him actually when I first started my channel. He was one of the first guys that was into my feed, and yeah, I remember him. I never looked back. Last time I mean, he was an interesting guy. How about that? We'll just say that he started interviewing. When he started doing some interviews, that was like, whoa, you're interviewing, but he's interviewing, girls of the night type of stuff. So that was
that's before my time, way before my time, apparently, because I don't know it. Mog says dudes complain about Western mentality, ladies, then meet girls online here and send money and simp and get played and marry their girl in 2 weeks after meeting them and complaining. You know what? Mog, you're correct, but that happens worldwide. I can remember when in the 70s when the big deal was going to Russia for they had they still do these tours, I think. Well, I don't know now with the war and everything.
They still do.
But they used to be doing these tours of going to Russia. That was big business back in the 70s, actually. That was a lot of people did that.
Then
Paul
Ukraine
Henderson
happened.
Mike, please say
Russia
hi.
And Ukraine.
Mike, please say hi to my wife, Julian. She's watching this with me. She probably doesn't understand my fascination for the Philippines. Well, I'm not sure which Mike, but hi, Julian. Hope you're enjoying it. You need to read the family code articles that address parental authority and responsibilities for a child, whether legitimate and illegitimate. Yeah, you know what? What you really need is a lawyer. If you're ever going to be in that position, you need a lawyer that actually knows what they're doing, is experienced in it, and get a lawyer. Because as a foreigner, it's going to be an uphill battle no matter what, in my opinion. Cam the Cook. I spent a few weeks in Angelese and Cebu in February. Great visit. I'll be back soon. Mike, you've been to Cebu, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so what were your thoughts about Cebu? What are your thoughts about Cebu?
I think Cebu is always the safer bet for anybody who's coming to the Philippines for the first time, because it gives you the city feel, and then at the same time is there's the offsets that are easy to go to, and you have the beaches are easily accessible, so you can go to Malbal, Malapuasca, you can go up to Medellin and go to Bantayan Islands and stuff like that if you want to go on the far ends of stuff. From Cebu, you can take one of the Supercat doesn't go to Bohol anymore, but
Fastcat,
the Ocean Jet, and the Fastcat doesn't go to Bohol anymore, so you can take that towards Bohol, do a Bohol trip. I think Cebu is a nice place to go to. It just depends on each person, to be honest. But I mean, if it's your first time in the Philippines, I say Cebu is probably a good first hit, and take it from there. If you know, I like Cebu. I really do like Cebu, but for me wise, honestly, I'm more of a Manila person if I'm going to be visiting the Philippines. So
Yeah.
that's just where I kind of look at things.
Some of the best Mexican food I've ever had was actually in this hole in the wall place in Makati.
Interesting.
The guy, I don't know whether they had a Mexican in their family or whatever, but it was good shit. It really was. Ricky's Slap heard round the world June of last year. Yeah, that was before my time.
Interesting.
That was definitely before my time. Maximus says the guy Jasper's also telling his trolls to roll up on him and see what happens. That is just asking for people to run up on him and call him out on his challenge. Not a smart move on his part. You know, Maximus, I don't think I don't think that is an appropriate thing to say because you never know who's going to do that. All right. And you never know who's going to pay somebody to do that. You know, you can, as actually, I think I've heard Jasper say, you can get somebody's head knocked off for a box of chicken. So it's quite literal. But at the same time, Jasper, like many others, is running a YouTube channel that's a business, and a certain amount of drama is necessary to keep it going. And like anybody in YouTube, Jasper has haters. I don't hate Jasper. Actually, I actually wish him well. I think Jasper, Mike, certain other people, they represent the future of YouTubers in the Philippines. They're young. They are articulate. They're able to speak their piece. Mike is educated. I don't know Jasper's education, but Mike is an educated, independent business guy. He's able to speak. Jasper, apparently, he's getting phenomenal growth numbers. He is able to create what he's creating. They may be people like Mike and Jasper. You got to remember people like Ricky Drama, people like me, people like Paul Old Dog or Mark Thornton. All right. Doesn't matter what you like or don't like or anything else. Matters is we're going to die. We're not going to be around. Mike and Jasper and other young YouTubers, they're going to be around. I wish them the best of luck. I really do. I think it's a good thing.
It's there's always going to be changing the guard. I mean, the way I look at it is like, for me wise, I never wanted the fast growth. I just said, slow growth for me. Actually, I think I did a better job of getting rid of viewers than getting more viewers sometimes. Because like the amount of people that unsubscribe to my channel is hilarious to me, and the amount of times that I hear people saying they're unsubscribing. And people get mad at me. They're like, people sometimes say like, "Oh, here he goes again talking about his subs." I'm like, no, when I'm going to make fun of a subscriber, I'm going to make fun of that subscriber, not everyone. I mean, if you get butthurt of me making fun of one person, then you know what? Then it applies to you. But like, because my content really, unfortunately, turns off a lot of men. I've noticed that there's a lot of guys that gets turned off by me. So.
Apparently, I do the same thing. I am my net gain of subscribers this week is -3. So it's not been a great week. Granted, I haven't put out the best of content this week either, but still, it is what it is. We have fun with it. I don't really give a shit. Sylvester sounds like a true girl content. Isn't that a vlogger? Isn't there the true girls?
It's 4 vloggers. Yeah, 4 girls. I interviewed them.
Oh, really? I must have missed it.
That was fun. It was a lot of fun interviewing them.
Was it?
Uh-huh.
Sexual talk is what these dudes want to see and hear to fulfill their fantasy. There's some truth for that. It's true. Filipino couple from San Carlos. I don't know where they're from. I don't really watch their content. their content
Okay.
that much. I just click on it time and again. I think Mike knows who they are and where they're from, but I don't really know where they're
They're in Calvin's neck of the woods.
and where.
In Calvin's neck of the woods. So San Carlos
Ah,
is correct. That's where they're from.
Mike Daddy says like the bunch that follows Uncle Touchy. I don't know Uncle Touchy. They crave looking at younger girls. You see their comments and all the other channels. I guess Uncle Touchy is a reference to somebody that I don't get, but anything is possible. Isme and Roger, yes, that's who I was talking about. Told you, Mike. Mog man, he kills me. The SS Lover channel. Okay. Some of these jokes go a little bit over my head. Sorry, but I think Mike must have got it.
All right, I get. See, Mog is fun. Like Mog and I hung out over at in Boracay. Mog, his girl, my girl, and of course, you don't forget about Lee and Asia. They showed up as well, coming all the way from Australia. So that was a lot of fun. So
yeah, and he's a neat guy. Mike Dowdy, the video they did at the young girl twerk contest was too much. Yeah, I missed that one.
That got taken down.
Oh, it did? Todd. Good morning, Todd. How are you? Hope you're doing well. You know, I met Todd at your meet and greet, Mike.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah. Yeah, they went after underage girls that there showed their true colors. Wow. Of course, they took it down. Todd says, hi, Mike and Mike. And Mogman probably met Todd at the meet and greet also. I'm so far behind on comments.
No worries, man.
Can't keep up with them. I have never watched reality TV scripted drama. The networks made millions selling this dribble to the drooling public. The YouTube vloggers are repackaging this shit to make money. Yeah, why not? If, look, you know what? I may never make enough money to replace what I spent on camera gear that I never use. That being said, it's a hobby and it's fun and it's entertaining, and I don't have to go down the street and drink. I don't have to find another hobby hanging out with bar girls. I don't have to find another hobby continuously eating myself into oblivion. You know, it's a hobby that's fun, and I get to meet interesting people. You know, I've interacted with Mike. I've met Mogman. I've met Todd. I've met Ruby, and I've met half a dozen or more others. And they've all been interesting people. Really and truly, they have. Mr. Gushers. Don't know that one, Todd. Sorry. Canada. My wife was a Filipina, passed away March 2023. I'll find a new one when I come back. Well, we're sorry for your loss. Condolences. But, you know, Scott, don't spend your life alone if you can. Enjoy your life. Share it with somebody you care for that cares for you. That's the only piece of advice I could give you on that. And take it for what it's worth. Mog says, oh yeah, Russia, Ukraine, and Romania mail order brides or packages to get married. Big time in the 60s through the early 2000s. Yeah. I actually had a guy I knew. He was an orthopedic surgeon. And he went like 4 times in a course of 2 years to Europe on these international bride hunts. Okay. Eventually he found this girl, and I can't remember out of where, and brought her to the U.S. and he got killed. He was trying to teach her to drive in a fucking, remember the Porsche 911 Targa, whale tails? In his
the one
whale
with the large
tail.
tails, the Targas?
Yes. All right.
Okay.
He was trying to teach her to drive while she was on a 90-day visa, K1, whatever, and
Oh
wrapped it
God.
around one of the bridges on I-17, doing about 130 miles an hour, killed them both.
Mm.
So it does happen. Mike Dowdy says, now just go to Vietnam and meet a Russian woman. You know, somebody else told me that there's a lot of Russians in Vietnam, and told me there's a lot of Russians in Thailand. We saw quite a few. We were there a couple, 3 months ago. We saw quite a few that, you know what? You know, here we go. Somebody can put out something good and prejudiced here. A lot of tall, blonde, blue-eyed guys. I assumed many of them must have been Slavic or Russian, one or the other.
Yeah, a lot of those girls are trafficked over there.
Yeah,
in Vietnam.
Yeah, you know, on Walking Street there, they actually have a bar that specializes, and they may have more than one that specializes in
Russians are in the Philippines. They have them in the Philippines now.
Yeah, I've never seen them here.
City, oh, they're in Quezon City. If you go to Quezon City, there's a couple bars over there that have Russian girls.
Really?
Oh yeah. That's for the rich guys.
Scott Webb says Philippines. Good morning, Brent. Nice of you to join us. Hope you're doing well. Da Nang has all the Russians. I don't know, but we'll take your word for it, Maximus. Mog says, I've been to a lot of areas of the Philippines. My two favorite places to live would be Cebu or Baguio. You know, Cebu, I didn't like it, and I think it was because we had a bad trip there. And I'd be willing to give it another shot. Baguio, man, that's a lot of hills. I mean, that's a lot of up and down, and parking is horrible in that city. Cam the cook, I'll try Manila, but you can't beat the weather in Baguio, that's for sure. Bryce Type, regular guy said TJ from Expat King still lives in Angelese City. He said they meet up with each other and hung out. You know, Bryce, I don't know. As far as I know, he's gone. I can tell you I know what he looks like. I've seen him on the streets back in his heyday. And I have not seen him since that channel came down. Is he still here? It's possible. Regular guy was only here in Angelese for 30 days. So who knows? I got no idea, Bryce. I would not put a lot of credence into that thought. Wish I could live a Shangri-La in Lapu-Lapu. Lapu-Lapu has a Shangri-La hotel resort? Or are you talking about just live that fantasy life?
Well, the one in Mactan, right? So there, I stayed there. I was at the Lapu-Lapu for a week and a half, about a week, I think it was. So it's a nice Shangri-La.
You know, the guy that owns Shangri-La is actually from Malaysia. He's one of the richest guys in Malaysia, and he owns the land the Shangri-La Hotel is on. He owns the land that several of his other properties are on. Crazy. Guy's got money. Money. Well, you know, most billionaires have money. I guess that goes without saying.
They got FU money, so they can throw away money every now and then.
Pretty much. Brent's World, don't you think if you want to get the real feelings of Filipinos, try to stay out of the heavy foreigner populated areas? You know, I think, Brent, there's some truthfulness maybe to that. But here's the other thing I think. And people have disagreed with me completely on this, but generationally, the Philippines is changing. 20 years ago, you would not have seen 5-year-old kids on their iPads out at dinner, Filipino kids. Those kids in the province, they're going to the bigger cities. I think that sometimes I think in the future we may actually see where meeting people in the province, you're going to be limited to a lower standard because anybody with any drive is leaving the province to create a career or a future as best they can elsewhere. That's just my personal opinion. I think that as opportunities for education and growth and everything else expand in the provinces, that may change. But right now, I can tell you in Arlyn's province, it's high school and that's it. If you don't leave, you'll get no education, none. And so, I don't know. What do you think, Mike?
I mean, what is the real feelings of the Philippines, really? What's the true feelings that you want about the Philippines? I mean, Filipinos themselves. I mean, being among Filipinos is the Philippines. So for people to say that the Manila or city living is not the Philippines, I think that that's wrong to say. I think that there's just different parts. That's why if you want to understand the Philippines, it's to be able to go to multiple different places to experience certain things. It's no difference as like in the United States of America, for example. What's the true essence of America? Where are you supposed to go? You tell me that if you're in Chicago, that's not the true America, or if you go to Arizona, that's not really America. So I mean, it's like it's the same thing exactly in the Philippines. The real feeling of the Philippines is to be to be in the Philippines, to enjoy that. You want the real feelings of the Philippines. Yeah, enjoy the different food, enjoy the conversations with people. Filipinos themselves, for example, you know who live in the city, some of them have never even been to the provinces or been to Boracay or been to Palawan and stuff like that. For us to say that because of lesser amount of foreigners in the populated areas, um, my question to that is that it doesn't matter if the foreigners are not in a high population in a certain area. They are exposed through internet, through what you know Western thinking, Western living, Western ideations are. So it just all depends on each person, I guess. Um, and my question is, do you really want, as a foreigner, to be going somewhere in the boonies, and you think that that's going to be life? And guess what? You can put yourself in so much risks as well for people if you're going to do that. So for me, wise, I say I'd rather be someplace where they've had experiences with foreigners. You never
Yeah.
know.
I think that the internet is certainly providing a cross cultural experience
Oh yeah.
all the way around. Todd says Jasper isn't worried about keyboard cowards. He has a boxing background. That may very well be true, Todd, and I wish him the best of luck, but I would not show up to a boxing fight when a guy shows up with a knife. It's just better to avoid it completely. Um, I hope he avoids it completely. And I think, after watching his most recent in the past couple of weeks, he seems to, be pretty reasonable about that, so to speak. Mog. Todd, Dr. Mike will be heading your way Labor Day. Look forward to buying your real coffee. Oh, Todd, great. Hey, you know what? We'll be in the province from the 17th of August till around, I think it's 18, 19, 20, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think the 25th, 26th. And then we're back. And sure, we'd love to meet up. Hey, Todd. Hey, Todd. Todd, 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 Todd. Mogman says, Jasper is okay. He fills a niche for bloggers here, younger crowd, even though he's older than me, but his channel is different. He's very cocky, LOL. That can be a turnoff, but what he does is good. You know what? He's a business, and that's the bottom line. He's putting out information he believes in, I hope, and he's a business, and we'll see where it goes. We'll see, what his lifespan is like. Not his, but the business, that model. Maximus, they're not young. They're middle-aged and in their 40s. Mogman, oh damn, two Todds. Todd. Maximus, lipstick girls. Mike Dowdy says, Uncle Touchy Jesse, haha. You know what? I've seen like one video, maybe two with Uncle Jesse. Just not my idea of content. I'm sorry. I'm just going to put this out there and say it up front. Anybody that's proud to live in a center block building that's falling down, that they couldn't even lay a straight line of center block. I mean, it doesn't take much to lay brick. And that's what hollow block is. You can lay that shit in a straight line. It's not hard to do. All right. Anybody that portrays themselves in that environment really and truly is not going to be having content other than drama or bait that I want to see. I really enjoy. I have no idea how old that woman is. It is what it is, and that's something I'm going to stay away from until somebody proves otherwise. Todd says the people who get turned off are the guys living in a fantasy world. They can't handle the truth. Mike, Jasper, and others deliver. Truth hurts. Yeah, it does. People don't want to live in the real world sometimes. They refuse to live in the real world. That's why I got a video out there. You might be too stupid to come to the Philippines. And it's quite possible. There are people that are just too stupid to come to the Philippines. Maximus, SS is Sunshine's shoulder. Okay. I don't watch him. I tune in back and forth once in a while. I can take him in small doses and not much more than that. He and I'll just put it out there. I don't mind putting it out there. I've said it before. I don't like him. I can't respect him. Anybody that would leave his three minor children behind in the U.S., I just can't, I can't respect. I just have no respect to not provide support, at least, and in turn to leave his children behind. And it's my understanding he's actually still married in the U.S. I don't know whether that's true or not. I speak out of turn, and I apologize. But I don't give a shit what your major malfunction is. If you're leaving minor children behind, and I mean even if you live in the U.S. and you don't pay attention to those children, you're a worthless piece of shit. And that's just all there is to it. You want to look at a lot of the problems in the U.S.? Part of that is single children that were raised by the guy down the street at 7-Eleven. So, I don't know. That's enough of that. Renee, don't knock bar girls. They make great wives. I don't know about that. I can tell you I have friends that have wives that are bar girls, and some have ended well or are still ending well. Some have not. And it's only a matter of time.
Yeah, the percentage doesn't work. Person, I like to look at it the percentage chance of having a successful relationship. It's just not going to go there. It's just not going to end well by percentage wise. And I think men, if you're lifting yourself 8,000 miles to go to the Philippines, don't you want a higher percentage of success? But then, sometimes nowadays I just look at it as that maybe that's just only the type of girls that they can actually be with. Maybe those guys just know enough, that they know themselves enough that their is that. It's like when you're in Angelese City or anywhere else, like in the pay to play areas. Here you know that in that row of bars, the cost of getting a girl with you is the same on all the bars. Pretty much, it's the same cost every single bar. My question: why are we seeing this with girls that are ugly looking around? It's like you paid the same price of entry every one of those girls, yet you still found the worst looking girl in the bar or in the street. And it's like, for me wise, it just translates that those men, even though that they're paying for it, pay to play, still understand that those are the only girls that they can approach. They're probably even shy enough to approach for the best looking girl in the bar. At least get the best looking one or the top
I
10%.
I agree. I have a very good buddy of mine, and I'm you know me. I don't give a shit. All right.
Mm-hmm.
He is never going to get married. He is very happy single. He is either with a girl from Tinder or a bar every other night. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
One of his friends recently came to visit. Now, this guy has a lot of money. A lot of money. And yet, his game, his confidence is so low. Now, granted, his looks are not that great, but his confidence is so low that he won't even talk to a girl that's over a 6.
See?
All right. And I'm not talking about at the mall. I'm talking about at the bar where you can buy anything. If you've got the money, you can buy it. He won't talk to anything over a 6.
I've seen it happen too.
So, and so that goes right back, I think, to what you were saying.
Yeah, it's just crazy, and it's funny, like, you know, where you see guys, and sometimes when you're in the background just watching, that's why I love people watching. Where sometimes these guys will be like, they see the girl that they want, right? And this goes for pay to play bars, and this even goes for regular bars, like regular places, hangouts. And you see these guys, you can see the guy looking at the girl. He likes the girl. He thinks she's cute. You can see it happening, but he never approaches her for like 30, 40 minutes. Then some guy swoops in and gets the girl. And then when that guy gets the girl, that guy was like, man, I thought she was going to come over, or man, I thought this. I'm like, yo, listen. And I was like, and what's funny was this happened once. This was an LA cafe or La Cafe or however they want to call the place. You could see this American looking at this Pinay, and that's going on, right? And all of a sudden, he could just, if you're in La Cafe, you just look at the girl and you say, come over. But he didn't even do that. A Korean guy swoops in, doesn't even speak any English, uses his translator app in his phone, makes the girl read it. The girl nods her head, and they leave. And I'm just laughing there, drinking my Sunmig apple, because I'm like, just seeing that incident happen. The guy's like, for like the past 20, 30 minutes, he's staring at this girl, hoping she would come approach him.
My buddy
comes in.
My buddy is the same way. He is the same. You know, we go. I mean, it's no secret that we go by. You know, we're out once a week, once every other week. Okay, and it's no secret whatsoever. I have single guys, and they tell Arlyn and I and any of the other couples that, you know, because we're a bigger group. All right, you guys got 2 minutes, and in 2 minutes, I'm taking what I want. So if you want one of those girls to come talk to you, and you have something in particular, pick her now. Don't be waiting. You've got 2 minutes. And even one night, you know, we were like, we were at Carousel, and we're sitting in the back. I do too. I hate Carousel. I do too.
that thing twirling around just it's like, it brings me to like you know, like carnival creepy vibes and stuff like that.
I do. But you know, there's no more horses. It's just the bars now. All right.
Yeah, exactly.
But I hate Carousel. But the waitress supervisor is a friend of ours, and so we go to Carousel. We're sitting in the back, all right, and literally, he's explaining. You know, they're telling us 2 minutes, guys. You guys got 2 minutes. In comes 3 Koreans, and literally, they didn't even get a seat. They just stopped at the stage and started pulling girls off. All right. So, yeah, you're right. If you're indecisive, if you don't commit, you're screwed. So it's kind of funny. I mean, for us, we don't give a shit. But, you know, for other people that are out there for pay for play, it I guess it can be kind of disheartening.
Or the
Mike's
guys that goes to those type of bars and like they sit there this whole time and not even have a girl table them. Like
yes,
you're by yourself or you're with your friends and that's why a lot of Koreans get so much hate by Western men. Like Western men are saying that Koreans are ruining Angeles City and stuff like that. No, they're just more aggressive. No, it's like they're taking all the girls. I was like, because they got to the girl at the morning before you got there. I was like, because they came in early, because they planned ahead. It's like they're not ruining things. Like I even hear guys say, oh, when the Koreans leave, then the price will drop down. No, the Koreans are not leaving. All right. If a lot of people don't even understand this, the Korean mafia is in Angeles City. They exist. You guys want to see where they're at? Go to Las Vegas. Okay? Go to Las Vegas and go to the little corner. You're going to see the whole Korean mafia there. All right? So and people need to understand the truth. They're not leaving. There's money in Angeles City. So the prices are not going down. And have you ever, some guys still wish the prices were back in the 70s, which makes me laugh.
there's a
It's still
bar. The Koreans, I don't know when this bar opened. Okay,
mm-hmm.
I think it's been open several weeks under this new management. All right, it's right beside Champagne. Okay, right beside it, one down. Anyways, okay. Here's the deal. You may have seen a video that the Walking Street guy Leon, It's My Life, is done, and George is complaining you can't go in to even look and see without buying a
mm-hmm.
drink. All right,
mm-hmm.
We stopped by that bar last night. Yeah, last night. Okay, you have to buy. It's a 2-drink minimum. Okay, no problem. Lady drinks are 450 pesos.
Okay.
Bar fine. They have 2 tiers of girls, 6,500 and 10,000.
Oh,
and
interesting. That price gone up.
Price went up. Nobody on Walking Street. I mean, there's a couple of bars on Walking Street where some of the spotlight girls are like 6K, whatever. This is like your 8s are 6'5", and your 9s, and believe it or not, they had a couple 10s in there. I mean, I was surprised. All right, are 10,000 short time. All
whoa.
Short. Yeah, that's not overnight.
Whoa, they're going for the Korean branding.
They are,
but see that this is, they're going for the Koreans with the money, and that's the thing. Most guys need to understand that's how the price is. Price can go up. I mean, technically, if you go to Manila, anyways, you're gonna be paying that price anyways. Because in Manila, you pay for bar fine, and you also pay this whatever you pay for bar fine. You pay the same pretty much price for the girl as well. So you're paying double anyways in Manila. So guys just need to understand that. I mean, come on, just play the game. If you don't want to play it, then do what some of the foreigners or some of the expats are doing in Angeles City. They hang out in the corners asking girls for for $1,000 for a short time.
Yeah,
they'll catch something.
I realize that the bars require weekly health checks. In fact, you really want to have an entertaining breakfast, go to Tequila Reef Tuesday mornings, and all the girls are heading down to the clinic down the street, with their little brown envelopes to get their health check. I have no idea just how thorough this health check is, but at least there's something. All right. The freelancers are not. Those 1,000 peso girls,
they failed those tests.
No shit. I this is not something that I would let my friends, that I would encourage my friends to do. Like Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the mouth.
They get a sore in the mouth.
Yeah, no shit. Oh my God. Mike Dowdy says, all the true tough guys I know don't go asking for a fight. Jasper may be tough, but in a real alpha male, don't come have to tell everybody. Yeah, well, and you know what, guys? Keep this in mind. This is not a bash Jasper thing. I know that people's opinions differ. I wish Jasper the best of luck. He has a business plan. That's his plan. Mike's Philippine Journey, he has a business plan. That's his plan. He gives out information. Jasper gives out information. Take your pick, whichever one. Better yet, watch them both. Every channel has some good information. You just need to be able to pick through it. That's all.
I agree.
Todd says, well, I guess we'll have to get a future date because we leave on the 26th. Oh, I'm so sorry, Todd. We'll figure it out maybe. Hollow Block Girls. That's a good name for a Province Girl channel.
Well, that's what actually. I'm not gonna. I have to. I'm gonna humble brag on this one. So we created that in my channel. We call it the Hollow Block Girl. Oh yeah, no. Yeah. That term was created in my channel, and this is where it comes about. There's a song by Gwen Stefani. You know, it's called the Hollerback Girl.
Yeah.
You know, so you know that, right?
Yes.
So in my channel, that's what we were like. So from now on, I always say, don't date a hollow block girl. So if you go online, you're searching, and then you see a girl, and in the background, it's the hollow blocks without the finishing. I was like, leave her, because she's gonna make you want to finish it for her. so we termed the term hollow block girls for Filipinas in my channel. I'm gonna humble brag, but I know that came from
But
us.
you should add to that if they've already painted those walls and it's purple or green, skip those girls.
The green, I don't know.
Oh my God,
is the green? And then or the draping of Hello Kitty wallpaper.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
That's like, oh, good.
Because Lord. And you know why? There's a guy that walks by Tequila Reef every day selling blankets and shirts and stuff like that. And he has these Hello Kitty blankets, and they're like 75 pesos. That's, you can get 5 of them and make your own partition, I guess. I don't know.
Yep.
Good Lord. Are you saying Uncle Jesse has a hollow block girl?
He does. He created one. I don't want to go there with Jesse. He hates me right now.
Does he really? Did you do something on?
Oh, I made like 2 videos on him. He hates me. He doesn't.
Shit.
He doesn't. He's. But by the way, if he's listening, or any of his friendly people are listening, I'm like, he said that I'm upset. He said he was going to send his Georgia people at me last weekend. I mean, it's already 2 weeks behind, Jesse.
Yeah, Uncle Jesse, if you're around, there's the link. Come on in.
He's not gonna come up. Oh, it'd be interesting if he does.
Yeah, it would. I'm sure he's not.
Yeah, he doesn't like me right now.
What gets to me, you know what? There's so much that gets to me. Never mind. It just doesn't matter. How about Gio leaving his minor children in the U.S.? I don't know. I don't watch Gio. I have never watched Gio, so I don't know. But if he left his minor children in the U.S. and didn't help raise them, fuck it. He's a piece of shit also. That's just the way I feel. I mean, you know what? I get it that some fathers, the mothers, make it so drastically impossible for them to see their children. But there's always ways to help raise them. There's always ways to be there. If you leave minor children in the U.S. and their mother gets in a car accident, who's going to be there for them? Shouldn't it be their father? Shouldn't you be a part of that recovery process for those children? I'm just saying, I don't know. I am so far behind.
It's okay, man.
Man,
Well, I think that you got a lot of people in the viewership. I mean, what you got like 43 still right now, 45? I think
I've
last time
got
I checked.
45 in the channel right
That's
now, and I've got
amazing, man. That's
49
amazing.
subs up. Yeah, 47. I
Rock
think
on.
we hit 49 at one point.
There
Um,
you go.
so I mean, I'm just really impressed. You know, when we started this channel, Mike, I told my wife, I'm going to do this, and you're going to help me. Okay?
Hmm.
Were you willing to help me? And she said, sure. And you can see she doesn't go on channel much. But I said to her, I said, it's going to take us a year to get 1,000 subscribers. And we did it in 96 days.
That's amazing.
Now, we're not a big growth channel at all. But to get to where we are now in less than 1 year, we're still less than 1 year. All right. And I'm not at all unhappy with the growth that we've had because I've had a ton of fun doing it. That's, I've met good people and I've had a ton of fun. And that's really the bottom line. Now, see, I'm trying to figure out. I don't have anybody waiting. I'm still. Are you? What you use StreamYard or do you use Ecamm, Mike?
I use StreamYard. I tried several of them already. I tried StreamYard, then I went to EVMux, which is way nicer than StreamYard, but then they have a lot of hiccups. I tried another one before that. I was gonna do Ecamm. The only thing I don't like Ecamm is when you make the live part is amazing with Ecamm, but the part with Ecamm that I have a problem with is when you're making videos, because I also use StreamYard because I don't like editing. So I have it down packed with StreamYard that if I need to do my intro, it's gonna drop in. If I'm, so I know how to play around with it already to make it faster. With Ecamm, when you make just videos and not a live, it stores the video on your computer, and
Ah,
so I don't like that portion of things. So
yeah.
that's the only reason why.
I use StreamYard, not StreamYard. I use Ecamm to
Hmm.
make videos my raw
Okay.
videos, but then I
Uh-huh.
use Filmora to edit, drop stuff in,
Yeah.
combine it, things like that. Um, but but yes, it does store it on my computer, and when it does
Yeah.
that, I just have mine set to, tell me it's done, and then I just take it off the computer. Um,
Yeah. So I mean, like I have a Mac Air, so I don't have enough storage for it to,
yeah,
so I'm like I don't need to.
yeah. I'm an old man. I'm half blind. I can't do shit on my Mac Air anymore. I have a, uh, 18-inch PowerBook. Fuck, I have a hard time dealing with it. I use my desktop. All right, and we just leave it at that. Hollow block girls, that kills me. That really does. Enjoy your wife's festival season and have a safe trip. Thanks, Todd.
But Mike, anyways, Mike, I have to go do a couple things, man. So I just want to say thank you so much for having me
Oh,
here, man.
thank you.
So I appreciate it. So for
Thank you for
everybody else,
dropping by, Mike. Have a
no
great day.
problem, man. We should do this anytime. Just let me know whenever every time you're gonna do something, and I don't mind climbing up, man. So you
Oh,
take care, okay? Everybody, you
thanks.
guys take care as well, okay?
Take care. Oh, there we go. Let's see if I can get caught up on some of these. If anybody else would like to cam up, the link is down there. And let's see here. There's so many interesting vloggers in the. Well, I'm going to have to skip some of these. There's so many interesting vloggers in the Philippines that newer vloggers will only acquire the younger viewers. Older folks like me are still watching all we can see with a job. Yeah, I think everybody stays busy. Tony, this guy looks like Rike's son. I don't know him. Hector, yeah, he's got great content. If I was single, that's how I do it. But I like Manila. It's dirty, but tons to do. Like a mixture of Rike and that guy Larry the Cuban, one from Florida. Hey Tony, who are you talking about? I don't know. Maximus, what bar is that? I think you're talking about the one I was talking about, Maximus. It's right next to Champagne and Barnana. Mike Dowdy, I love the KTVs and Malate. Always a good time, but don't go there during the day. Always a bunch of old, creepy guys mongering around. Who's paying 10K for some run through jungle Asian girl? You know what, Tony? Apparently, a lot of girls, a lot of people are paying it. No one has to pay for sex in the Phils anyway, let alone with a girl who has 1,000 foreign rods inside her. Yeah, well, it is what it is. The health check is bogus. Yeah. Just go to LA Cafe and get your freelancer, Maximus. Tony, I don't see how anyone could sleep with a prosty. Some guys are down bad there. Hey, you know, it's whatever makes them happy, Tony. But seeing how they look, I'm not surprised. Hector, Mike D, personally, I'd stay away. KTV, pay. Yep. The Mike and Mike show. Miyagi, sorry I missed you. Hope you're doing well. Todd. Like this guest, for example, he looks like Rike with a bigger head. Ah, fuck off, Tony. Let's see here. What can we do about that? Todd, Petra. Now the cost of living travel's gone up. I see less fills. What do you think? I think, yeah, Pedro, I think it's going to get, it's definitely gotten more expensive. That's for sure. Hector, I used to go, but occasionally now just have fun. I'm not mongering anymore. We usually go to the comedy clubs. Peter, I'm so far behind on all of these comments. I apologize. How about Farrah Fawcett and Charlie's Angels posters on the walls back in the day? No kidding, Miyagi. I don't know that I've ever seen one on a live stream from the province, but you never know. Miyagi, Miss Fuzzy Pants. Takes your back, Dowdy. Miyagi, yeah, he had one on my door in high school. Daisy Dukes of Howard's. You got more viewers than Jasper. Well, you know what? I'm fortunate. But, you know, Jasper's going to do just fine. And I've seen him with a lot more than 49 viewers. Head-to-head live stream and Mike is winning. No, it's not like that at all. You know, Jasper and I are totally different content, honestly. I'm good people. Well, thanks. You're banned, Maximus. Yeah, you see what happens? YouTube recommended me to Mike and Arlyn, and first content was the ABC meetup with Mike. Yeah, we went there for that meetup with Mike, but unfortunately, you know, that was timed to coincide with like his arrival, and he had a family issue right before he left and had to cancel. Let's see here. Sylvester Rodriguez, YouTube recommended me to Mike and Arlyn. Oh, yeah, there we go. So, Todd, why are you not on his live? Oh, I think Todd bounces back and forth. Sylvester, that's where I met Mike in person. Yeah, that's where I met Miyagi. And with Leah, his partner. Very sweet, smart, young woman. Maximus says, I think I was banned weeks ago. Todd, I listened in on Jasper for a few minutes. He sounds young relative to most people interested in the PI. The people who are probably close to his edges are probably digital nomads because they are. You know, I think I'll go back and say this again. Jasper is different content. All right. I'm a very much older generation than Jasper. I'm a full generation ahead of Jasper. My outlook, my thoughts, my goals are all different than people in Jasper's generation. Not that we can't give good advice and experiences, but Jasper has a totally different generation. I wish him the best of luck. Todd says he's too young to retire. Miyagi, yes, I saw Mike, people in Mike video. It was a good video. Yeah. Actually, I've been on Mike's channel before in his live streams. Maximus, I just couldn't miss Mike and Mike's live. Both great guys. Thank you, Todd. Florida man, later, Mike. Take care. All right. Be good. Yes, Maximus, I think I made it 15 minutes before he banned me. Well, that's his prerogative. Todd, you're going to get banned for not watching and kissing his butt. Thanks, Mike. Peace. Hector says local concerts and small clubs, local musicians are great too. Absolutely. Absolutely. Peter Pang, Hector, Gubat. Mike, Tony is the kind of social reject Jasper bands too. I'm going to have to find that. You know, that's something I've never looked at is how do you ban people from Ecamm? I'm going to have to look that up because I've never had to worry about that problem, Todd. Made it better late than never. Hiya, Mike. Glad you make it. Heard about this. Jasper went there one time, left under 5 minutes to never return. No need to block. Oh, it's Van Turner. Yes, I've seen you around, Van. You were on Philly's live stream the other day. Well, I think unless anybody has any other comments, and I post that one more time. If anybody else would like to cam up, then I am more than happy to do so. And we will go from there. If not, then we're going to slowly call it a day since we've been on. It's the longest live stream I've ever done, 2 hours and 33 minutes. But I want to thank everybody. We had 49 people in this live stream, which is a new record for us and one we're extremely, extremely happy about. You guys take care, and we hope you have a great day.